What's up, Pokemon trainers? My name is Rilo Ren, and I am a PvP Pokemon Go battler in Los Angeles. Now, Los Angeles is the best place in the world for Pokemon Go PvP because there are tournaments literally every weekend, and there are so many great players out here. People ranked, in the top 10 of the world, depending on, like tournaments and stuff. So yeah, the competition is fierce out here, and it's super fun. Now, recently, there was the Montebello Mega Tournament for Timeless Cup that had 9 rounds and over 300 people. I participated. I didn't win. Obviously, you would know my name if I did. But yeah, I did pretty well, and the matches were awesome, and I'm starting a YouTube channel. So, what a way to kick it off! So let's get into my team. So I went with Blaziken because I like the way it plays. Also, I love fighting types. That is my favorite type. We went with Dragonair because you kind of have to. Kingdra because you kind of have to with Octazooka. Lapras because I like the way it plays. Also, out of the ice water types, I liked him best. Victory Bell because if you're not having a grass type starter, you kind of have to. And then finally, I use Drapion because I love the way it plays with Fell Stinger and Bite, and it can beat Kingdra, even if it gets the debuff. So, had to have it on my team. Alright, so let's get into the matches, and let's go to my analysis for round one.
First up, we have Big B. Surprisingly enough, I did not know that he was number 20 in the world last season. And looking at his team, I know that he has 3 water types. Now, um, we gotta have Victory Bell for those. And yeah, Muck kind of scares me a little bit. My team is a little weak to Muck. And yeah, let's go into the battles and see how I do. All right, so we start off with Kingdra. He starts off with Quagsire. I chose Kingdra because, I thought it'd be a good lead, a safe lead amongst his team, uh, since his versatile thing. He goes for a Stone Edge, which I block. He switches, and this is where I make my first mistake. You see, as you saw, I had Drapion that I could switch into, but I chose my switch save wrong, and yeah, so Victory Bell went in, and he was able to do some damage, but not necessarily a lot. So now, a charge move is coming my way. It's a Dark Pulse, thank God I shield. And I was able to feint that down. So, alright, Quag comes back. We go for the Hail Mary, and it hits. Alright, so he has 2 shields, and he has a Kingdra in the back. And I couldn't read the Octazooka in time, and it's my Drapion, and now he can do some damage, but it doesn't look good. He uses Outrage, I live it, and I die. Oh well. Alright, round 2. So, my thought process going into this was Lapras would be a better switch-in, better lead, and I got it right-ish. It's always, you can never really tell with the Octazooka, but he switches out, and I learn from my mistake, and I go into Drapion. Alright, and I know I can take a hit, I can take a punch to the face, and now I'm going to charge up to that Fell Stinger. Alright, and he doesn't block it. Fun fact, usually people don't block the Fell Stinger. Alright, and I block this because I want my Drapion healthy. And we kill the Muck, yay. Alright, and Kingdra comes back in, go for another Fell Stinger, and he blocks it. Nice. Disregard what I said earlier. And I'm going to let Drapion go down because, it served its role. And now I'm expecting him to switch at any moment, but little did I know, he had Quag in the back, and that's GG's from there. Alright, so my mentality was, he was probably going to do the same thing again, but I was going to switch things up and lead with Drapion. Why? He's just really good. And, unless it's with a Quagsire. So I switch out to Lapras, a safe switch given his double water strategy. I kind of figured he wouldn't change, though, for a little bit, I didn't know what kind of player Big B was. I mean, I've heard of him, obviously, but, I haven't studied the man. So I blocked a Stone Edge, another thing's coming my way, I decide to take it. Alright, and I'm getting off that surf. Let's see if it lands. He decides to shield and switches out into the Kingdra. Nice on his part. And I decide to go into my Victory Bell, chunking away at that. I decided I might need my shield for Drapion, and I lucked out. It was good. So, what's he bring it? It's that Muck, and I called it. Going for that Fell Stinger. You know I can take this. I can take a Thunder Punch. Boom. Alright. And going for the Fell Stinger. And he blocks it. And, you know, Quag goes down, and Drapion with one shield, he can win this. Shield the Thunder Punch, and all I have to do is go for the Aqua Tail, and bye-bye, Muck. But GG's, you know, he's a great player. Now, looking at trainer Mr. Ho's team, we see that he has 4 water types. So I'm definitely going to have to bring in Victory Bell. Maybe Drapion, because he can do well against a lot of his team, except for the Wish Cash. And yeah, let's see how I do. Alright, so we start off with Lapras, because it's good against most things in his team, except for a Celio. And I wasn't sure how to play this out. I was thinking, you know, probably should switch. I have 2 counters-ish. Drapion, it really depends, but I switched into it. You know, Drapion I use in almost every single match. He's a good, you know, lead potentially, and also a good safe switch, except if they have Wish Cast. Yeah, I used Octatail just to get some damage, and I'm going to take this because that's my best shot. Yeah, it died. I should have went for Lapras because I could have saved the Victory Bell in the back, but, you know, didn't really think impulses, you know. So, you know, trying to go so I can do double surf, see what I can do against this Dragonair. Blocks it, obviously. Oh, incoming attack, and I blocked it. Shouldn't have. It was an Aqua Tail, and I go for my water attack, Surf. Does he block it? Nah, he takes it, he swaps into Celio. And you know, it was tough. At this point, I was like, all right, let's see if I can make magic happen. I couldn't make it happen, so I go for a Surf to do some sort of damage. It didn't work. I switched out just because, you know, I could have a Heart Attack Mon, which is what I call when you think you beat your opponent, but there's something in the back. I don't think that's going to matter too much because here comes that Body Slam. I only have so little health. We simultaneously knock out, and then lag. I know I'm dead, but I'm tapping away just in case, and I die. Oh well. Alright, so round 2. I decide to pause for effect. Bring back the Lapras, and he leads Kingdra. So this can go a number of ways. It depends if he gets a debuff or if I go for a shield bait, what he does. I decided to take it, which it paid off, and I go for the Skull Bash immediately, just because, you know, raise my defenses and everything. He blocks it, obviously, and so I go into my Drapion, my safe switch. I decide to take this. Thankfully, it was an Octazooka. And I go for Fell Stinger. Bzzz, try and raise that attack that went down. Won't do it by much, but you know, it's better than nothing. I decide to block this just so I can do a little bit more damage. I know my Lapras isn't doing too good. He gets to another Body Slam, and Drapion's dead. Alright, now time for my Victorian Victory Bell. Coming in, and then, you know, chunking away. Now, I was wondering if this was going to be a Aurora Beam, and it's just a Body Slam, thankfully. Okay, and obviously I'm not in good position. Dragonair comes in, and, you know, fun fact, you know, if you switch in, instead of, like, letting it come in after a Pokemon faints, you know, all the stat changes are the same. I go for a Leaf Blade because you always go down swinging no matter what, but, you know, it didn't work out. All right, next match. So I lead with Drapion, and just to throw him off, and, you know, things are looking good. Drapion against Celio, it can be played in a number of different ways. It can technically win with 2 shields. Take that one, and then, you know, just using all the Fell Stingers, seeing if I can do more damage against this, see what I can do. I decided to take this next one because, it didn't seem like anything. I needed shields. Go into Lapras because, at this point, I need to save my Victory Bell for whatever he has in the back. And so I decided to farm up as much as I can, take whatever hits that I get. Just all these body slams. And so I have enough for a Skull Bash, so I'm going to go for Surf for the bait. And does he fall for it? He does. Okay, and so I go for the Skull Bash again. Maybe he doesn't want to use his last shield. And it goes through. He did not think that I was able to get to it. And so Wishcash is in the back, and it's GG's at this point. Good games, man. For round 3, we have Saryu, and the two things that really scared me on his team was Muck and Meganium. Why? Not that many things that I have that can beat it in the 1-1, but, I prepared for this going in. If you don't know what you're weak against and how to counteract it, you're coming ill-prepared. But thankfully, I had a plan for both of them. All right, let's see it. All right, so I decided to lead my Blaziken with him because I felt he's not going to expect that, but it's a Muck. One of my things that I'm worried to fight against, so I bring in my Drapion. He brings in Meganium. Now, this isn't necessarily a losing matchup. He just has to land that Earthquake. He let the Fellstinger go through. Nice. Now, I was wondering, was it going to be it? It's a Frenzy Plant, and so, trying to farm down as much as I can. I got to a second Fellstinger, so I'm definitely going to get that shield there. All right, and I was debating whether or not to shield. I was nervous, and Earthquake, and bye-bye Drapion. But I was able to bring in my Kingdra, knowing he can't get to another Frenzy Plant. And so, Mutt comes in, and I take the Thunder Punch because he can take it. And so I decide to just go for the Hail Mary Outrage just to see if it can go through. He blocks it, unfortunately, and then an attack is coming my way. It's a Thunder Punch, and it's not looking too good. And, can Blaziken fight through the pain? It's a Dragonair. I go for the Blast Burn to do as much damage as I can. It's a good chunk, but alas, he gets to that move, that Aqua Tail that I shield, but can I get to a Blaze Kick? No. And so Muck kills me with a Thunder Punch. Sometimes a punch is better than a kick. I don't know. Alright, so next match. So I lead with Drapion, and I get the lead right. I was figuring he would probably stick to the same thing. And so, just going to go for Slellslinger. Oh, switch. And I'm going to go into Kingdra because he can beat it. All I have to do is shield once, as I do. There goes that. Oh, Dragon Pulse. Yeah, forgot for a sec. I fainted down, and I have an Octacuza ready. Or, an Outrage. And I go for the Octacuza just because he might shield it. And he does, and I get the debuff. Yeah. And he gets his Frenzy Plan off just so he burns some of that energy. All right, and so I bring in my boy Blaziken for some combat. And I use Blaze Kick. Should have held on to it, but, it happens sometimes. And now I can bring in my Drapion against his Muck. And it's great because I can take a Thunder Punch. I can raise my attack with this Fellstinger, and it's going to do a lot to Meganium once this Muck is dead, as it does. All right, and he's going to attack, and I can just let it go, do a little damage, and Blaziken, since it has a shield, will get to Blaze Kick no matter what, or I believe, faints down. So, yeah, come out now. It's the tiebreaker, and I'm excited for this match because the ending is really, really good. All right, so Kingdra versus Politoed. Interesting matchup. And so, I'm going away trying to charge up as much energy as I can. I'm figured he's going to use the bait, and it's a Surf. He switches out into Meganium. I switch out to my Blaziken, and we CMP tied, and I use that. Thankfully, I used my shield. and Blaze Kick, and he decides to let his Meganium go. So he has shield advantage, but I have Pokemon advantage. And obviously I'm going to let the Surf go through because I want to keep that shield, and there's no way Blaze can beat that. And so I bring out my Kingdra again. I go for the Hail Mary Outrage, and he blocks it. All right, and so it's Muck and Drapion in the back. I can take these Thunder Punches. Boom. All right, and then all I have to do is go for the Fell Stinger. Boost my attack up. He's probably going to let this through. Yeah. All right. And I was debating whether to shield, but I decided, you know what? I need to keep Drapion healthy just so I can do some damage to that Politoed. And I can reach another Fell Stinger. And so I'm charging up, seeing if I can do any damage to it. And he takes it, and I do the swap. And it's a Surf, which at that point it was GG. Thankfully, the clock ran out just in time. So, fun fact about round 4. I fought this guy in Mirror Cup Regionals last August, and I lost against him. So this was, kind of redemption. And so I see that Meganium is back. I also see that he has not one, but two, but he has 3 water types. We see a Ninetales again. And let's see how I do. See if I can get my redemption. Alright, so I start off with the Kingdra because, thought it'd be a good lead, but it is a Celio. I mean, it can win, potentially, because Kingdra can do whatever. But I should have blocked that. But I didn't. I decided to go for the, Octacuza, just see if I can get anything off. He shields, don't get the buff. So I switch out into my Drapion. And Body Slam. Okay. And so it's this versus Dragonair. I go for the Fell Stinger just so I can see if I can do any more damage to this Dragonair. And I get the boost, obviously, because it's guaranteed. And Aqua Tail happens. And then I'm thrown off by the push notification, and I go into Blaziken. Yeah. So I have to use a shield, and I feint it down. My mistake for not turning it off. And I go for the fake out. I probably should have went for the, just went for the, blast burn, because it would have done something. It might have helped out a little. He switches out. Kills that. My Blaziken, he's able to take down the Celio, but he's just no match. I use the Blast Burn just to see how much damage. It doesn't matter because he shields and he feints me down. Man. History repeated itself. Now, it's time for the next match. And I lead with Drapion against his Kingdra. This is a very favorable matchup. And I go for the Fell Stinger, and I beat him to that, which was nice. And, it's going to raise my attack, and I can beat him. I decide to shield this. I always shield with Drapion. It's Octacuza, and I don't get the debuff, so I can do this with ease. Alright, and, I might be able to get a charge move off, which I do. I go for the Aqua Tail because, might as well go for it, do some damage, and yeah, it's dead. And I have Victorian, the Victory Bell, in the back. That's just going to eat away. Don't know why I waited, but I did. And he has Ninetales in the back, so I switch into my Kingdra. Now, I was wondering if this was going to be Solar Beam, but it was Overheat. And so I'm like, okay, I definitely have this because there's no way his attack just got lowered. I throw the Octacuza just to see if I could lower it even more. And, his attack's lowered. This is probably a Hail Mary Side Strike. I block it just in case there's some tomfoolery, and I feint him down. So the last match of this round, what's going to happen? Will I get my redemption? We'll see in 3, 2, 1. All right. I go Drapion, and he leads with Kingdra again. We know how this matchup can play. So, biting away, bite, Fell Stinger. All right, raising that attack. He's going to let it go through. And then, I'm going to block it no matter what it is. And he goes for the Outrage. So he wasted all that energy. And, I'm just going to feint it down. I'm down to shield. But, doesn't always matter. And I go for the Aqua Tail because, gotta do whatever damage I can, and he doesn't block it. So I go into Gamma. Something's coming my way. I'm just gonna take it because why not? Does a fair chunk, all right. And so my health went way super down when he brought in that Dragonair, and I was nervous. Thankfully, I switched into this, and I went for the Leaf Blade. I don't know why. I guess because I was panicking because my Kingdra was at so low health. It dies. It comes back. I block this. I feint it. And then, can I beat it? Can I beat it? Yes, I do. I won by the skin of my teeth. Great matches, man. My fifth match is against Dre Flames. Now, fun fact about Dre Flames, he is my rival. Now, whether or not he considers me his rival is a different story. He and I just end up fighting each other in every tournament. And out of 300 people, we fought each other again. And I was joking with him the day before because we were doing a tournament that we were going to fight each other. And here we are. Now, because I already fought his team and I already had a gauge for it, I know that his Charizard, he likes using his Charizard. And I felt like he might have led with it this time. Let's see. Alright, so we're going in, leading Drapion because I am expecting that Charizard. The match of the century. Alright, here we go. And it is a Sudowoodo. I could potentially win in 2 shields. Now, I was thinking whether or not he was actually thinking I'm going to go for the Aqua Tail or for the bait. I went for the Aqua Tail just because, why not? He blocks it, unfortunately. And he's throwing something my way. And I shield just because potentially I could beat him. I go for the Fell Stinger just to raise my attack because he's probably going to shield this, which he does. And so, I wasn't able to feint him down. And, Rock Slide, and he's in a good position because with that little help, 1 charge move will do it. I bring in Lapras, seeing what he has in the back. He brings in Shiftry. Not a good idea. I try to switch out, but, Ice Shard can be tricky sometimes. That was a little glitch. It does actually a lot more damage to my Lapras. He gets off another foul play. And so I'm going for this Aqua Tail to see what I can do. I don't want him to get to another charge move, and he brings out his Dragonair, and my Lapras at such low health. I'm just, fighting to see what I can do, and it doesn't do a lot, and he already has a charge move off, so GG, man. He wins the round 1. Now to the next match. Gets my rival. Okay, so I start with Dragonair, and he starts with his Dragonair, so which Dragonair is the best? So, he switches. Didn't want to try that contest, and I foolishly went for the Aqua Tail. So, switch out into my Lapras, saving my Drapion for something in the back. I don't know. And my attack falls, and I go for the Surf for the Fake Out, and he blocks it. And so, I'm saying if I can get to another Skull Bash, but no, I didn't. So I have to let, my Lapras go. Used Outrage. Okay. And then I go into my lucky Drapion, Ditko, named after the Spider-Man villain. And he brings out a freaking Shift Ray. Now I go for Fell Stinger. It would be, 2 times effective, 4 times effective if it landed. Unfortunately not. And he gets off that Leaf Blade. This is not looking good. I want to take another loss. Yeah, because, he's got that Dragonair in the back. And, I'm trying to go for that Fell Stinger. And, I shield because I got to. I got to keep fighting. And I go for the Fell Stinger, and he switches into that freaking Dragonair. And attack Rose, but it's too late. GG, man. But because I always say, always go down swinging, I'm going to play him the 3rd match. Yeah. Just me doing that little thumping thing. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay. Now we're going into the final match to see if I can get at least one win. I start with Kingdra. He runs Shiftry in the lead. So I go into my Drapion. It's not. I don't know. Like, this matchup is kind of weird-ish, where on paper Drapion wins. It's just he had energy and everything. But I'm going for the Felsinger, just raising my attack, doing the best I can. He gets another Leaf Blade off. I have to let that go through. Another push notification. And he switches. It's deleted. And so, part of my reasoning, I decided to go Double Dragon because this is the Hail Mary. I thought, why not? I blocked this, Octacuza, and no debuff, which is nice. And I decided, Hail Mary, just go for the Outrage, which was not the best idea. I finally see the Charizard. I should have went for Octacuza to do, he was going to block it regardless. It could have gotten the debuff, and of course he switches, giving me no chance to beat that freaking Charizard. But I keep trying, I'm trying, and Dragonair dies. I bring in Kingdra, it's such low health, he's probably close to Dragon Claw, which he is, and I'm sorry I stopped the recording. That was my bad. I guess because it was over, the lag. I'm sorry, Dre. Alright, next round we're facing someone I have never faced before, XX Purple XXX. Now, looking at his team, I think Drapion can do some good damage against it. I'm seeing that Skunk Tank. Not really worried about anything really, except, that Venusaur. Because later on he will cause me some trouble. Venusaur in general. But let's go and see how I do in this match. Alright, now I throw in my Drapion because it's always a good lead, and I got the lead right. So, just chopping away, chopping away. And I go for Aqua Tail because, like I said, not many people block Drapion's move, and so that does a nice little chunk. And I'm going to take this. It's a crunch. Was worried for Flamethrower, but I didn't know which variant he had. Switching to Kingdra, I switch into my Victory Bell, chunking away at its health. I decide to just take it. Trying to be careful with my shields, and I decide to go for the Leap 8 just to burn a shield. Victory Bell still goes down, so I decide to bring in, Drapion, and, do some more damage. It goes through, and so, I'm able to get a little bit more damage off of this, but I decide to let it die. Alright, and then my Lapras comes in, and I'm just going to farm this Skunk Tank down. And then, alright, this is a great matchup. I have 2 shields, so if he keeps, no matter what he throws at me, I'm good. So I'm just going to keep going for the Surfs. That way, I chip away at the health, because, if he has a Dragon Pulse in the background, I could shield it, but I would rather not risk it. And I go for another Surf, and boom, it's dead. On to the second match. Basically, I really so with this, my my lead was not as favorable as you would like. It is possible in The Sims that it wins. He switches out. So Drapion is out, and we know how this game plays. But because he used the crunch, and because he saw how much that Aqua Tail did last match, I decided to go for the Fell Stinger, hoping he would shield and I'd get the boost. And so he goes for another crunch. I decide to shield it. And part of you might be wondering, oh, why are you complaining? You still got to another Fell Stinger. Yeah. But now it's double. But I was like, I could have taken it out. I still could have had more health. And it's a Celio. Doing a decent amount, but it's time to let Drapion go. Alright, Body Slam. And then, I bring in my Victory Bell. Do some damage. Lapras. I shield this because I don't want to take a Frenzy Plant. And, go for the Surf. Hoping to burn a shield. I do so, but he has one shield on me. He's going to get off that Frenzy Plant, Yeah, because there's no way I can get to another surf. I don't think I can survive this. And I didn't. Uh, so, I'm just going to town with Victory Bell. He's going to get off a sludge bomb, but it survives. I use that leaf blade because we always go down swinging, trying to get it down. And it lives with a little bit, feint it down, but if only my Victory Bell had more health, it could have pulled it off, but alas. So, we're both tied. We're going into the third match, the tiebreaker. Ugh. Let's see. All right, going right into it. I bring out my Lapperscan. He brings out his Wish Cache. This is very, very good for me. Safe lead. I can just take these, take these mud bombs for days. Well, not for days. But I'm gonna try and charge up to the Skull Bash just so he, I can do some baity stuff. Go for the Surf. He blocks it. And I go for the Surf again. He doesn't block it. And so, I'm trying to get this matchup. At this point, I burn one shield, seeing if I can do more damage. And he switches. Now, this could have been a mistake on my part. In fact, I switched back to Drapion. Potentially, I could have just stayed in with Lappers and then tried to feint down the, Skuntank, but didn't do that. So I went for the Fell Stinger, try and raise my attack. And, he let it through, but he gets one charge move off. The crunch does not kill. Lappers is at low health. My Victory Bell is not going to do much against that. Neither is my Lapras. We all both have one shield. I already used energy, so I decided to go into Victory Bell just to do as much damage as I possibly can. I decided to shield this Sludge Bomb, just doing as much damage, and I switch, and he switches. That was funny. I guess he thought I might have tried to go into another charge move on on his freaking. Damn it, I'm blanking because I know this does not end most ideally. Use a Sludge Bomb, but I live, and I go for the Leaf Blade, and will it kill? No, and I try, and he gets off the Frenzy Plant. This crushed my soul. It was such a great match, but alas. Now, after that tough battle, I had to pull myself together to face the Mr. Valor. Now, he is also a Blaziken user, and he went with Shelgon instead of Dragonair. Interesting. Still using Kingdra. Now, I was tempted to bring Blaziken, but there wasn't really anything that he was good against on his team except for Celio, but I have Victory Bell to cover for that. Also, 3 waters. Trying to see that, I'm seeing that theme in this cup. I'm personally not a big fan of it, but anyway, let's get into this battle and see how I do. Okay, so I decided to lead with Kingdra because it looked like it could manage the best out of the team, and he brings his Kingdra. So let's see if Gamma has better IVs. Kingdra, my Kingdra is pretty high. Its rating is pretty high. I think in the top 100. Unfortunately, the debuff happened, and so at that point, I have to go for the debuff, just see if I can debuff him. But, because of those couple charge moves where it wasn't debuff, he was able to get it. I didn't go for it because, if I didn't get the debuff, I could just feint him down. I'm sorry, I'm missing so much. So I'm going for the, seeing if I can feint him down with Razor Leaf. I'm going for this, seeing if I can burn a shield, because it is possible to beat Blaziken with a Victory Bell. Yep, doing Sims on PvPoke has taught me that, but not this time, and so I'm able to feint down, but it's a Wish Cache in the back. And there goes the Mud Bomb. I'm trying to get to the Aqua Tail. I reach it. And it hits! Oh, so little HP. And he gets off his Mud Bomb, and Drapion falls. Vocal Fry. Alright, next match. So, I thought, okay, he's probably going to read Kingdra again, so I'm going to lead with my Kingdra. All right, let's see if this matchup goes any better than last time. I'm thinking he's going to try and go for the Octacuza. His attack IVs must be better. I mean, mine is pretty high up, so I go for the Octacuza. He got the buff. I didn't, and so I'm able to feint that down. Um, he didn't shield either. Guessing because he didn't. And I get to the other Octacuza. I think he was trying to, save up, try and farm me down, but it didn't work out in his favor. I bring in Victorian, and I debated on whether or not to switch this, shield this, and thankfully I called it right. He goes into his Shelgon. I go into my dragon. I shield this. It's a twister. And it dies. And now I have one Aqua Tail ready. And if I can pull it off, I can probably get to a second. And I do. And this is pretty much GG. Super. Yeah, well, I mean, I had Victory Bell in the back, so I was going to win. But all right, final match. This is an exciting one. So, it's Dragonair versus Kingdra. I was expecting him to switch it up. But alas, you never really know unless you really know the player what their, playing style is when it comes to a tiebreaker. It was an Octacuza. I tried to see if I could feint it down, but it was all in vain because he let the Aqua Tail go through. I thought I had a chance. So I brought out my Kingdra. I immediately switch into Victory Bell, and it is freaking Shelgon. I go for the Leaf Blade just to see if I can burn a shield or do damage. He lets it through, and, I'm just going it down. I'm able to knock it out, and it dies. Now, at this point, I have to Dragon Breath the heck out of it. I should have blocked that Aurora Beam, but I didn't know. I go for the Octacuza just in case I can get some, lower his attack, and it doesn't. And I'm, Dragon Breathing away, hoping I can make it. He body slams, and I beat him. So close. All right, next we're facing Crystal Blue Pepsi. Now, this guy doesn't have Kingdra, which is good for me. Don't have to worry about the Octazooka. Now, he does have Venusaur, and this is round 8. So if I win this, I'm guaranteed to have a positive score at the end of this. So let's go and see how I do. Alrighty, against Pepsi. I start off with Lapras because I thought, it had the best coverage over his team. He starts with Lapras, so let's see who has the better Lapras. Yeah. We both go for Skull Bash. I win the CMP tie, which is good for me because, my defense is going to be higher. He shields it, so monkey see, monkey do, which is kind of what you have to do in this scenario. And so, we're going away at it and, trying to get to the next Skull Bash. And I tried to QSA, and I think that screwed me up because he gets his Skull Bash. And so I go for my Skull Bash, and it, goes through, but he's clearing the lead. It's not looking too good. I decide to try and go for another Skull Bash. It didn't work out. He gets to it first, and I just let Lapras go. And I go into my Blaziken, see if I can farm up any energy. I have to burn the shield here, and because Surf. All right, so I have energy in. It's whether or not I go for the Blaze Kick or the Blast Burn. I usually go for the bait in this scenario, but I went for the Blast Burn just because it was probably going to die. So I have a Dragonair, and usually this would be a good matchup if I had shields, but I go for the Aqua Tail, and he takes it. And I go for another Aqua Tail trying to get some damage off. And, I'm trying to feint down. He uses the Frenzy Plant on me, which means bye-bye. And so here comes another charge move. It's a Sludge Bomb, and it feints. Not doing too good. So we go into the next match, and I bring in my Lapras. He brings in his Wish Cache. So this is a good matchup, as long as I play it right. He's going to throw his Mud Bomb. I'm fine with that. Just gonna charge up to that Skull Bash. He's gonna throw another Mud Bomb and take it. And then I go for the Surf. We saw this in the other match, how it does. Upward deflection, he shields that. I go for another Surf. He lets it go through. I'm getting deja vu. That was an unintentional rhyme. I blocked it this time. Okay, now that one was intentional. So I use another Surf. See if I can get damage off. He decides to shield it, so he has no shields. I have one. I decide to let it go through. Bye-bye Lapras. And then I bring in my trusty Dameron, named after Poe Dameron, if I didn't already say so, depending on how I edit everything. So I go for the Dragon Pulse because why not? Shields are down. It's going to do a chunk of damage, especially to a fellow Dragon type. And I go and I switch into my Blaziken because, I can reach that Blast Burn. And it's going to be nice. Yeah. I love Blaziken. I love my fighting types. All right. And off to the third match. Now, this match was very, very interesting. So I win the lead here. And so he switches. Now, I made a dumb decision. Instead of going for Lapras, I decided to switch into my Dragonair to face his Dragonair. Now, it has Wrap, his does, which would have been even better to face with my Lapras because I didn't have to worry about Dragon Pulse. Now, his Lapras comes in. I go for the Dragon Pulse just in case. Yeah, and so at this point, I'm like, all right, I'm going to switch into Blaziken, try and get down as much damage as I can. It's not looking too good because if he gets another Surf, I'm screwed. I switch because I was expecting him to, and it's Venusaur. He still has a shield. I guess I tried to go for the... I should have went for Surf. I might have burned a shield. And his Lapras comes in. It's a Surf. I could have won this game. I could have. Now I'm going into the next match, 4-4. All right, for my 9th match, I'm facing Certain One. Huh, I just got it. Anyway, stakes are high because if I win this, I get a positive, score. If I lose, I get -10. This is my weighted cup. So, yeah, if I lose this, it's gonna hurt my score, my ranking. And my ranking before this video wasn't impressive. Like, I was rival, but yeah. Now, there are a number of ways he can play this. I see potential double ice. I see potential double water. No potential double dragon. Maybe double cast form. Let's go into this and see how I do. Okay, so the first match in this very, very stressful game, I bring out Lapras. He brings out his Venusaur. Now, statistically speaking, this is a favorable matchup. In practice, it's out of me, and I don't like it. I shield this Frenzy Plant because didn't want to take that. So I went for Surf for the shield bait, bait taken, and I go for another one because actually that's what you're supposed to do according to the Sims. I didn't want to take a Frenzy Plant and risk it. So I decided to feint him down, but this way I had, energy in the back. He brings out his Kingdra, and I'm like, oh no, going against a Kingdra with no shields. I'm done. I'm finished. I bring out Ditko to see what damage I can do. It's going to be an outrage, and it's not going to be pretty. Yeah, it dies. I bring in my Lapras just to try and see if I can get a Surf off at least. It dies. And then, Blaziken tries to do stuff. And then Octacuza happens, and it dies. So I have to win 2 matches in order to have a positive score at the end. I decide to lead with Ditko, and he leads with his Venusaur again. And so I switch into my Victory Bell as he switched into his Wish Cast. I don't block this because he wouldn't have gone to a Blizzard. So Victory Bell did its job, so whatever comes in, I'm just going to use that Leaf Blade. See what damage I can do. It does not much, honestly, but, sometimes the little chunks help. Just let Victory Bell go down. It served its country well. Um, and I go into Ditko because I don't want Lapras to go against the Victory Bell. And he caught me with the Fell Stinger. Use it against Kingdra. I'm not going to keep it in there because I need that Drapion to face Victory Bell. Um, he goes for attack. I'm thinking it's Octacuza. It is Octazuka. All right, I go for the Skull Bash, and he takes it, and I'm able to feign him down. Um, he brings in his Venusaur, but it doesn't matter because I have my Drapion in the back. And funny enough, neither of us used any shields during this match. Crazy. Now, this is the final match of the tournament. The stakes are high because whoever loses this gets a negative score. Whoever wins this gets a positive score. Now, I weighted this cup, as I mentioned. The stress level was so high, I did not know what to bring. Legit, I was thinking, looking at his team, what is he going to bring? Like, is he going to switch it up? I don't know this man's playing style. I was so stressed. Let's see what happened. Oh, God. So, I just went with good old Ditko, my boy, Drapion, and I like this matchup. And so, all I have to do is go for the Fell Singer. He attacks. I decide to block it no matter what it was. Octazuka, I shield, and it didn't get the debuff, thankfully, so I was good. My attack rose. He switched into his Celio. I switch into my Victory Bell, and I shield this. It was an Aurora Beam, thank God. Now, this is bad because he has 2 shields. I only have no shields. I do have 3 Pokemon, but still. And he goes into that. I decided Sludge Bomb, just Hail Mary, and he doesn't shield it. That cost him the game, potentially. He Weather Balls me. I go into my Lapras because I knew that, anything it threw wouldn't be effective. He switches into Kingdra automatically. I tried to switch, but I wasn't able to. So I threw off the Surf and, switched while the thing was happening. And I was able to win. It was such a close game. It was so stressful. Wow. Like, even talking about it, I still can't believe, like, it came that close to the wire.
Anyway, thank you guys for seeing my video. If you made it all the way to the end, I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm going to start making YouTube videos for this. I'm going to start covering, Fusion Cup. There are still a couple of timeless tournaments that are coming up for me, so I'm going to post those. And yeah, make sure to subscribe if you like what you see. And like, comment, and yeah, I know I messed up this tournament. If you have any advice, feel free to tell me or give me crap. Yeah, anyway, you guys, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.